Want a shock? Boom! Well, 4 of them actually. Guys, don't forget, subscribe and smash the bell. Alright guys, it is time, finally, to clean up these shocks from my Lazer Alpha, and they are quite disgusting. So I will do the 2 rear ones first, and I'm going to put in some of this 20 weight or 200 CST shock oil. This is Team Associated shock oil. I quite like this stuff, so I'm going for light because this is just going to be a cruise around, very light bashing car, and mostly a shelf queen because it is so old and means a lot to me. So I will do the rear shocks first. And I have no idea how much oil is actually going to be left in these shocks. Let's see what the deal is. Is there any oil left in this 20-year-old shock? Yeah. It's a little bit. Not a lot, just a tiny bit. So let's empty it and see. Whoa. That is black. Wow. That's what 20-year-old shock oil looks like. I'm not going to bother pulling that bit off the bottom because I don't have, I think it's got 2 little O-rings in there, and I actually don't have replacements of those, so I might be better off just leaving it as is. These are definitely quite heavily gummed up, and this one actually, that doesn't feel like there's anything in that at all. Alright, here we go guys, it's coming off. How much is in this one? Pretty much less than half. Yeah, very little left. Alright, that's the 2 rear shocks completely apart. I will cut to the reveal of what's in the front shocks. I won't show you the pulling these apart as well. Alright guys, I've taken most of the stuff off and there's nothing there, so I'd be surprised. Yep, probably next to none again. Alright, here we go, the big reveal for the first front shock. Yep, probably the same. I think they're all a little bit under half full. Well, stop the press guys, the final shock was actually nearly full. So this was the least leakage shock out of the entire batch. So there you go. And, wow, that oil is still looking good. Well, there you have it guys. All 4 shocks are now completely apart and ready for them to be soaked in some degreaser and given a bit of a clean up, and then I will refill them and put them back together. And that means my Alpha Lazer, all it will need then will be the electrics in the ESC and servo and receiver installed, and it'll be ready to run. Alright guys, all of the shocks are now completely clean, and I have also given them a once over with this stuff. I really like using the silicone spray. It just helps keep the plastic in good condition, and it shines it back up and makes it look fairly new again. So these shocks are looking good, ready to be rebuilt. And as I said earlier in the video, I'm going to use some of this Team Associated shock oil. It is the 20 weight or 200 CST oil. It's my lightest one that I've got. It needs good shock absorption. So now rebuild these and come back to you with the finished product. Hopefully they'll work okay there. I did notice when they were cleaned up that there are some marks on the shaft, the shock shafts, and stuff like that. So they're not perfect anymore, but this thing is over 20 years old now, and I'm not going to buy new shocks for this old one because I don't know how often I'm going to run it before I just turn it into a bit of a shelf queen as a memories type car, you know. So I'm not going to worry about redoing those. I'm just hoping that there are actual O-rings inside of this little compartment here, and I'm hoping that those O-rings are still pretty decent, because otherwise the oil's going to leak out the bottom. So it's going to be interesting to see whether I get any oil leaks early on in the piece, but we'll put them together and hope for the best. Wish me luck, guys. Alright guys, the 4 shocks are now completely reassembled, and thankfully there are, so far anyway, no leaks, and the shocks run beautifully and smoothly. I'm very happy with the way that they turned out. All 4 of them work really nicely. There's been no leaks. I've let them sit for a while just to see, and there have been no leaks so far. So that just remains to the next thing to do is basically install these back on to the buggy. Alright guys, all 4 shocks are now in place on the car. Very smooth. They might need just a little bit of extra preload. So these preload adjusters, I'll need to put those back on. I think the large ones go on the back and the small ones are on the front. I think that's the way I had it. So that wraps up the shocks being done, guys. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next one with everything in it and basically ready to be run. Awesome.